What is going on, guys? Big Rye coming at you with the NFL Week 10 Monday Night Football game between the Rams and the 49ers. What's going on, Jackson? What's going on, Tony Meatball? Sorry, guys, I had a bit of an issue getting the stream started up, but it looks like we're good now. What's going on, Zaps? Oh, that's ugly. That's ugly. Oh, I'm not sure why the background switched to white. I might just hide the chat and roll with this one tonight. What is the play? That is a good question. I'm going to put in the numbers right now and see. I'm surprised. Like, I haven't looked at the actual market stuff yet, but I'm just surprised with this line of 3.5. I figured it'd be higher than 3.5. It seems like a fishy line that kind of makes me like the 49ers. What is going on, fat guy?
Well, hello. Hello.
I had a hell of a time trying to get the stream started today, but
I can see that. There were some inefficiencies in the world, let's call them.
today it's, what is it, Murphy's Law?
Sure, everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
It's been that kind of 24 hours for me, but I'm just pulling up. Do you have any rooting interest tonight, let's say? I know that's...
Yes. Let me look here.
The answer is always no, but is there a side that could be better to your wallet?
The Niners.
I feel like this is such a fishy line. Like, I feel like the Rams should be bigger favorites. And I don't know why I think that, but it makes me like the Niners. Watch them get blown out. I think as far as betting markets go, it looks like the under might be the play to make.
Might have to take a quick phone call in between this, so I'll shut my mic off when that happens, if it happens. So there's a possibility, just letting everybody know.
Well, looks like I'm going to be doing an under. Oh, the juice is up to minus 112, so I'm just going to keep
You
my eye
missed the
on
boat. Closing line is the worst time to bet.
T-Ray said, how about them Patriots? Tampa Bay let me down. Las Vegas killed me too. That's too bad, sir. Tony Meatballs maybe said the under as well. Zaps is on San Fran +4 at minus 110. What's going on, Mud? Mud's on the Rams -4 and the under 50.5. Nice job, Mud.
The I think the pro play is San Fran. I mean, it's in reality, like, is this really worth more than 3 points? Probably not. Like, obviously, if you go recent results and that sort of thing, you can find a lot more reasons for the Niners than you can for the Rams. But, like, if the closing line is this, I mean, I'm tend to inclined to think that it's a pros versus Joes here. Joes on Rams, right? Especially, me being on this side of the counter for part of it. I've only received Rams interest, so that tends to give me Rams at -110 or worse. So that tends to sway my direction of where I think the game is more likely to go.
Usually on YouTube, when I start up a live stream, it'll say like copy the last one, and for some reason this time it like didn't even give the option. It just started one, and it was like it made no sense. It was nothing that you and I would have done. So
You know what it could have been? I accidentally hit started streaming last time.
maybe, but I still don't see why it would like
why that would have
automatically set up.
Did you scrub that one from the? That was like
it's private. No. Oh, the juice is slowly coming down on the under, so Jackson's got a unit on the under. He said Sports Guy has had a rough couple weeks.
As opposed to what?
I don't I've heard this and I saw this again today. I think Josh Allen shared it in the Discord. He was saying how like teams that have covered like the week prior versus teams that haven't covered the week prior, it's like some ridiculous result, like 41-15 or something like that. And really all that says is like, look at the parity right now in the league. Like it feels like every team has like 4 or 5 wins, like especially in the AFC, because that's what it tells you, right? Like it's not like teams are throwing together like 3-4 game win streaks. It's been pretty much like a back and forth affair. Like even who Carolina beat Arizona like handily.
Really bad, yeah.
Like no one at the start of the week was like, "Oh yeah, Carolina's just going to wipe the floor." They started PJ Walker. Like it's Arizona had Colt McCoy too, but like Colt McCoy passed the eye test the week before, or at least like results wise. It's just this league's great right now. Like there's so much parity. There's so many.
We're getting
good
the
games.
results for parity, whereas other years we're like just betting dogs blindly and it not working out.
Yeah.
And it's been good. It has been good. Oh, Mickey Hill, how are we? Oh, by the way, Jackson, I think at the teasers he was taking, I think you have to hit it like 83%, something like that, 85% to make money.
Yeah,
which is just crazy.
I remember it being like low 80s, and it's just so like it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. It's not possible. Sustainable. I don't think he achieved it in the first place.
Yeah, that's sustainable is like the nicest way I could have
That
said
was
that.
the biggest euphemism. It's actually a lie. It's a lie. Sustainable, because that has a connotation of getting it done the first time. Okay, well, maybe he won week one. Yes, that's not sustainable.
Yeah. I'm just what time or this game starts now. So I'm not gonna get this under bet in. The
Don't bet
line
the
it
closing line, anyways.
wow, really burst everyone's bubble here.
What do you want me to do?
Fat guy's on the opening line. It's okay to bet closing lines. You're not always gonna get the same value, but you're also
It's
not gonna
hard.
take the
It's
same
harder.
amount of risk. So it's a trade off. If you really want to get good at this, you bet opening lines, but you also have to you have to really know what you're doing.
It should be 9-1 opening to closing. I think that's a ratio, the golden ratio, as they say.
Mickey got Panthers plus 10 before it dropped, so he's saying I got egg on my face. He knew. Mickey knew that was going to be a big win for the Panthers. It was such an impressive game for the Panthers, let's be honest. Mickey's on the under 50.5. I'm happy everyone else got on the under. I
got Panthers 10 before it dropped. See, that's the kind of stuff that gives, because even if they lost, it's kind of like I got San Fran in the same situation, -2.5 before it dropped, and it closed at -6.5. It's the same bet, His worked out for him, and I'm really, really, really happy for him. I love that kind of stuff.
So here's a perfect example. The live OU popped up on Pinnacle at 50.5 at -106. And if I bet it just a second before, I would have got 50 at -111. So you can explain that to me.
Late closing money. And any edge you had might have got wiped right there, too.
I don't know. It won't actually let me bet it, so... Oh, there it goes. I'll take it. But that's the second time now where I've bet a line on the live line that is way better than what it was offered just seconds before. So I'll take it. I've got a unit down now.
Calling Daryl Henderson a star. What happened to Cam Akers? They're just going to forget about him?
Henderson's had a really good season. Star is such a loose term now for running backs, but Daryl Henderson has played pretty good.
And it's because he's had fantasy production. That's what star means in terms of the congeniality of the league, how they want to market it is people that put up fantasy numbers. I would imagine they're going to emphasize defensive fantasy more too, so they can have both sides of the ball. That's my guess where it heads. It's a good way to incorporate younger generations, up and coming kids. So I had the pleasure of talking to a bunch of them, bunch of 20 and 19-year-olds on Saturday, and some of them actually knew what they were talking about. Oddly, the gambling part's still a bit of a mystery to them, it is funny. A good friend of mine. Oh, here we go. Intercepted. That's awesome. A good friend of mine had a poker game, but just a really, really friendly low buy-in, like my dad played. And he made sure that his sons and his nephews were there, so I could explain to them the perils of gambling. So, and explain to them how hard it is to win money. So I think they got it because, a lot of their stuff is regurgitated PFF. And I was able to poke big holes in it. I would say it's a successful conversation. They were more informed, though, in terms of name recognition than I was, though. I got to be honest. So I don't know, Mickey. I guess I could. I put one here and there in Mickey. I put my Texans one that I lost on. I'm still very happy with. Texans +7 2 weeks ago. I posted the Browns one I put right away. So I'm making less and less, though, to be honest, just because I'm taking a lot of action on the other side of the counter. So it's like, even though I probably have an edge, well, I do have an edge with the selections I make, the risk assessment is high enough for me where I'm happy to just take full exposure from my customers. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm getting plus 110, right?
And congrats,
Yeah,
Zaps.
to a degree, Jay. To a degree. To a degree. Interesting, if anything, Jackson, that game. So I didn't get as good of a look at it as Big Rye did. He gave me more of a breakdown. We view games through a very similar lens. We rarely disagree on those types of things. So how he explained it to me actually kind of makes sense. So
That game, uh, there's YouTube highlights. Like the NFL does their own version of like YouTube highlights. And that package was close to 20 minutes. Like most games are like 10, 11, 12. So it just shows you like that game was very entertaining and very good despite like the low offense. I know a lot of people were upset with how that game was going, but I thought Detroit played really hard and did a lot of things that were optimizing themselves to at least get that tie.
also, Mickey, there's the Big Rye and I have kind of a big project that's for once mostly on my plate, and we kind of, I think, finished the first phase today. So when we're ready, we'll be sharing it with you on the Discord, or at least in private at some point. So I have a feeling you're gonna like this one. That's a tough run. Let's Go Niners is definitely the theme today. Deebo Samuel taking snaps. That's a pretty competent run from a running back. He's kind of built for it, though. Let's be honest.
Debo Samuel, the receiver.
Yeah, he's relatively quick, but he's stout too. Like he's like a power. He has a powerful body type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Please don't get me started on Goff. I mean, that's 3 runs in a row. And this is against a team that's not exactly an easy team to run against, theoretically, at least. It's always the thing that you expect. Um, um, you expect like this type of offense from, but you don't see enough. You know what I mean? Because we expected like these pretty much a fluid, versatile run and shoot. That makes sense. I think that was blocking in the back by Kyle Juszczyk, but they're not going to call it. Look at that play. Just fantastic. But like, doesn't it feel like the pass plays are so much more risky? You know what I mean? When you see a strong run, it's like paradoxical for me. I'm like, geez. Even if the other team knows it and you're able to pull it off, like I don't know, how is that better? I don't. All the analytics guys just love passing, and it's one of the things that even with numbers, I don't know if I could agree with it. I don't like that run. 25. Who is 25? All he had to do was run right behind use check, and he would have got 4.
It's Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah. See, because he would have had to get it, and then he would have got tackled anyways by 94. I didn't like that run. Not that the play call is fine. I thought Debo was his real name. I knew it was from the his name's Tiny Thompson. He's that that big scary actor who plays Debo. Speaking of Debo Samuel, what a run. I knew he was named after that character. I like that Tiny Thompson plays the bail bondsman in Jackie Brown. I like him there. It's only like a few minutes, but it's really, really good.
Have you seen Tua's real name?
What's that?
Have you seen Tua's real name?
No, I didn't.
I was I'll pull it up here.
Have you seen Von Miller's real name?
I'll let you have a stab at this one, fat guy.
Von Miller's real name is Vonnie Buvshawn. And the middle name is B''V, both capitalized, apostrophe lowercase SEAN. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, I don't. Do you have the stream up? Can you see what I've put up there?
I have. No, I don't. I have the chat box and I have the Zoom meeting. All right. I'll take a look here. That's a free play here. Wouldn't you want a free play to be a pass, though? Did Tiny pass away? I would guess so. He did a live stream like 5 years ago. The only thing that disappointed me is he's shorter than I am, so I was always like, man, couldn't he be like 6'9", you know, like. So I was, because you want your hero to be, not hero's a strong word, but like the villain you like, to be a bigger and scarier. Not that he isn't scary, let's be real.
That's why everything to me is big and scary.
Do you have it? All right, where is it up? You gonna put the name up? Did he not get in here?
It's up now.
Okay. To Enigma Manlalapola. Holy smokes. I can't even. That's got to be up there for hardest names to pronounce. Tua is great though. That's a great name. Oh, it's Tiny Lister. I thought he was Tiny Thompson. Oh, it's Tommy Tiny Lister. That's where I got the Thompson from. Yeah, it looks like he did die in 2020. That's unfortunate. He was a big boy. Build from parts unknown, of course. Tiny Lister. That's what it was. No, I don't think he was the security. And I know what you're talking about, Mickey. I bet you. There's a chance. I bet you that he was a security in real life. because that would have been in the 80s. That would have been before his big break, because he was just a wrestler, I think, in the 80s. And the guy had a crooked eye, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Those skits are terrific.
Oh, that's an all-timer. This is a nice drive here. How long are we looking at here? Like 8 minutes?
7-8 minutes, yeah.
Like, this is how you run a drive. Like, it really is.
Kittle is, like we've talked about it before, but he's got to be the most valuable skill position player on offense in the league.
I think so. I think he's the most valuable skill position player in the NFL. I agree.
Like, he just beat a corner there. The play didn't work out, but he was blocking a defensive end on that Elijah Mitchell carry where he bounced it outside. Like, just the versatility.
But that wasn't his. I don't think that was even his fault. Like, I think the Mitchell took the wrong gap, to be honest.
Yeah.
Man, Samuel, that's just good. That's just good. Talk about like using your team's strengths here. Like, it's been Samuel and Kittle for the most part being featured, even though Kittle necessarily hasn't, like, his blocking has been on display for the most part here. 22, nice play.
Shanahan knows how to call a nice game on offense. Like,
he can. We've just seen some inefficiencies, like, let's call it. $22, good job.
Nice to see Jeff Wilson Jr. back. Such a big bruising back.
Well, they're a team that benefits if you had 4 running backs active. Like, they're a team that would benefit from that.
And they've got it with Wilson. They've got it with Elijah Mitchell. They use Deebo Samuel as a runner. Even Ayuk as a runner once in a while. And
yeah, that's why they draft those guys. They'd be better off with Mostert, I think, too. That would help a lot. Remember who they used? Matt, what's his name?
Breida?
Yeah. Matt Breida. Real fast guy. See ya, Jackson. Have a good one. This is a really good drive. This might be the best drive of the year. You cap this off with a touchdown. I'm calling this the best drive in the year. That's a nice play by 94. Yeah, that's what I was getting at, Mickey. Like, there's time. Like, it's close. Do you know what I mean? It's close, but there's some things that leave to be desired. Like the Green Bay game, I didn't like that drive when they scored a touchdown in the end. So now we're on 3rd down. It's hard after having one negative run kind of foils, the run it 4 times idea.
All of the defensive players had their hands on their hip before that play started.
Is there a bet like that never happens? Like, you know what I mean? Like, in the first quarter. Yeah, that was a good one too, Josh Allen. There were some penalties on that one, though, if I recall correctly. George Kittle, touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown. Oh my goodness. And that's a fat guy. I love that one. That was their 12-minute drive.
Yeah, like 11 and a half, just under 11. Well, just over 11 minutes. That was a sexual 93-yard drive. Yes, it was, Zaps. So that drive started off an interception by the Rams on the 7.
It was an arm punt, more or less, but a necessary one. Wow, that's a good read to get in the only spot in that defense.
But it's another play where, like, the versatility of Kittle, you've got corners and safeties in zone back there. You can just throw it up to him. He's going to get it. If the throw's accurate enough.
That's about as good as you get, though. And, like, I want to know what the regression, the natural regression of a drive like this is in terms of defensive performance for the Rams. you can't be on the field that long. Like, imagine they do another drive like that. You know what I mean? That's a quarter and a half,
It's tough.
right? Just over a quarter and a half. How could your defense perform after that? You know what I mean?
It's
Like, and not only that, it's not like pass rushing where you kind of like like ease up. You know what I mean? When you're not there, it's the run game where you just can't really stop, and you're kind of in constant danger. So like I don't know. That's why I like those more, and that's why I think that a lot of the analytics don't take into account opposing defense regression.
I didn't watch the Washington football team too closely this week, so I didn't get to see that game, as much of that game as I'd like. The chorizo hash that I made myself turned out great. Apologize, guys, that I've been eating most of the stream, but gotta eat sometime.
Well, you said you were gonna eat before a stream, so I guess you accomplished it, sort of.
Sort of. Yeah, that it sucks having like a big favorite and you go down early because it just feels like hopeless.
No, it's my favorite being on the other side.
There's nothing worse than being like midway into the third quarter and it's like I need every single possession to go perfectly
Yeah,
now
yeah,
to
exactly.
win this. It happens, but it just like there's nothing that the Bucks are like, man, we're down 10, we got to win by 10, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
it's just it sucks.
I think it would.
Oh, here we go, the Monday night graphic.
They have Matt Stafford as John Bender and Cooper Kupp as Emilio Estevez's character.
They look like the Stafford looked like one of the bad guys from Home Alone.
Oh, you're talking about Marv,
Thank you.
played by Daniel Stern, who also voiced the Wonder Years. Did you hear Demico Ryans yelling, "Get the ball out"? That's awesome. I think they got a late flag, though, again, for unnecessary roughness.
I know you were talking about like fantasy stuff can change how people look at players. Like Henderson's in such a good situation and he's just taking the bull by the horns, whereas feels like a lot of their other backs haven't. But he's on pace. Like he's probably not going to play as good the second half of the year, but he's on pace for 1,500 yards, like rushing and receiving, and 14 touchdowns.
That was
so.
against the offense. Yeah,
Whitworth,
yeah. So
personal foul. Oh, he came in late, and he did lay the boom down. It's kind of rough when like 5 defensive players can do that to the running back, and then the one lineman comes in and does it, and it's a foul.
yeah. What down is it? Because did they replay the first down? Oh,
Oh, Mosley
oh,
with the drop. I'm
Ben
not.
Skoranek.
I'm not familiar with that receiver. Robert Woods tore something in his
Yeah.
knee and he's out for the season. That's such a big loss for them, even with the addition of Beckham, because like, who knows if or when Beckham, can get to that, same
Well, he's not.
familiarity.
He's not going to be as good as Robert Woods. Like that's not going to happen.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
intercepted.
Oh
That's a
boy.
touchdown. All right. All right. All right. We'll take this, boys. All right.
I said it at the start. Like, this is just revisionist history now, obviously, but the San Fran money line just seemed like I don't understand this line. Like, I thought the Rams should be bigger favorites,
Well, you
and
felt the same way about the Pats too.
yeah,
You thought, why would they open with that, right?
yeah, and then the Pats just dismantled the Browns this week, and it's like, obviously there's a million things that could happen, and the Rams could still come back and easily
Yeah, and the
win this
game's
game.
not over, but like it's just weird how, you know what I mean?
Because I can't, Mickey, do you recall what San Fran's home field advantage was? Like, I don't think it was very, very big. Like, let's say they're 1 point, and then the Rams have won 7 games, San Fran's won 3 games, so roughly you could say like a 4 game difference. So that's like 6 points, which makes it like 4.5 or 5. Like, it's not huge, a gap off 3.5, but like at 3.5, like, you're encouraging so many people to take the Rams. Zap said the curse of Odell Beckham Jr. I like that.
No. It's
Yeah, that wasn't good for the under. The OU flipped from 47 to 53. San Fran's home field advantage 1.7. So it's about right. Like, some very basic handicapping, you could say that the 3.5 is right. It just seems like the Rams should be bigger favorites. And I think a lot of that has to do with just such positive news with the Rams, and they keep adding all these guys. Like, they become that superstar-esque team.
yeah.
Whereas San Fran, it's been like, is Garoppolo even going to play? Or is he going to get traded? Is Trey Lance going to play? Trey Lance hasn't looked like, not quite ready, like, to take the reins. Like, even like, I've heard a lot of like bad talk about Shanahan, like, publicly.
Well, a lot of people expected them to be farther along, like, or more competitive for more of the years than they have been.
Yeah.
Because he got the benefit of the doubt with injuries a bunch of the time. So, I mean, I can understand why people would feel that way.
Zap said if the Rams had any draft picks left, they could go get Goff back for this. Yeah.
That's a pretty good take, actually. I got to be honest.
It's draft capital is very interesting. Like, remember how excited we were when the Raiders started stockpiling picks, and now their 2 first-round picks from last year aren't even on the team anymore.
Aren't even on the team anymore, yeah.
The one thing I will say about the Raiders is I can't get enough of Max Crosby. Like, that guy just plays hard. It looks like Sean McVay needs a couple minutes in the rage cage.
It's a 2-minute warning.
Stafford looks like Nathan Peterman right now.
Okay, a little bit hard.
For some reason, I read Nathan Peterman and I thought you meant Nathan Fielder. And then I was like, whoa, that's really low.
That's really low. Absolutely.
Mickey said the Rams' road advantage is half a point, so that comes out to about +1 home field advantage for the Niners. So with that math, like, if you add 6, like, Rams -7 would be the number.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to get 50-50 on this game, you'd probably set the line at like Rams 6.
6. What
So
did it close at? What did the market close at?
It was 3.5. Let me just double check.
Yeah, the distribution is what I'm talking about.
74% of bets were on the Rams, but the money was almost. There was actually 52% money on the San Fran.
Yeah, pros versus Joes all day.
Yeah, but 95% of the money was on Rams money line, only 5% on San Fran.
They took exposure then. That's usually a good indicator.
Yeah, that's. Well, I didn't bet it, so I didn't put any skin in the game, but I just had that feeling, which doesn't mean anything.
You did with the Patriots too, and I probably talked you out of it just because the closing line stuff. But I mean,
well, it's closing line. Like, if this opened at 3.5 at the start of the week, we'd both say take the Rams. Like, that's just how it goes, just because the closing line value is there. But as things materialize, like if the line stays on that, it somehow becomes the opposite, where it's like, okay, if it stays here and everyone's betting the Rams, then there's something up. I think it's more likely that Rudolph starts on Sunday.
the way the market shipped up, yes.
I think there was news that I think Roethlisberger can clear protocol, but he's actually sick, is what it sounds like. So they don't know if he's going to be back ready to play.
Oh.
I can see if I can find that Roto World update.
I like how you complain to get off of a team because you don't like the amount of times you've been targeted. Like, I still don't get it.
So Roethlisberger could miss Week 11 against the Chargers. Head coach Mike Tomlin said he's dealing with COVID symptoms after missing the team's Week 10 tie with the bottom-feeding Lions. He is vaccinated, so once he tests negative twice in 24 hours, he can come back and play. But he has to display no COVID symptoms for 48 hours before returning to the team facility. So it still is, there's uncertainty. Like, it sounds like he can come back and play, but as of now, it looks like it's unlikely he plays.
Look, they have that bunch up there, but they only have 2 guys. Like, Skoranek, is that you? That just felt like it would have, like, if that was Cup, it was a touchdown. But they have 2 guys on Cup on that side. Just a slightly misplaced ball. No, I think there's a W. There's a W in there before the R. How do you get a first? They giving that a touchdown?
Yeah. Well, I was laughing because he was running to spot the ball in the end zone, and then he's like, "Oh,
I guess it's a touchdown.
Oh, this is a touchdown." The under's not looking good. Oh, live
No.
OU 58.5.
That looks like a touchdown. Yeah, that should be a touchdown. I don't know if defense wins championships. It's just a very cliched thing. Good teams win championships. To put it as most boring as possible.
Well, the games just become tighter in the playoffs. Like, historically, they've become tighter. So it's funny how, like, throughout the season, it's like so offensive heavy, and then it can become
Fucking, should I send George Clooney over there or what? Safest bet. I don't know if that's the word I would use. Depends on the juice. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. I'd like to give you one, Seahawks fan, but one thing I do always say is do what gives you the least amount of regret. If you're gonna regret not betting it, then you should definitely bet it. I know that's not as like a fun one, but it's the best way I can put it.
Appreciate it, Gabe. Somewhere the
I appreciate that, Gabe. And Lions did get a tie.
somewhere the winless Lions are popping champagne.
Oh, isn't it scuronic? Don't you think? It's like rain. I didn't see that
I
one. I had my
I
head
got it,
down.
Mickey. I just
It's a very popular one in my house, believe it or not. I'm particularly not a fan of hers though. Her music.
big surprise.
Yeah, I'm
Big
tough.
yeah. For fat guy, it's Teddy Pendergrass or bust.
I do like Teddy Pendergrass. You shut your mouth.
Everyone loves that Teddy Pendergrass hit. You shut your mouth. Seahawks fan, I definitely could use some Buckleys. What do I? I just took something.
Get a salt shot in the mouth from George Clooney.
Yeah. Well, what's it gonna be? It's gonna be, I think, 3, maybe 4 years since George Michael passed away this Christmas.
Yeah.
Gabe Kerr saying we never get the first pick when there's a QB class. Didn't the Lions get Stafford? Wasn't Stafford a
Yeah,
first
he was.
first overall? But the the key is that the rest of the team was terrible.
Yes, that was a Norm delivery.
Xmas 2016. It's gonna be the 5-year anniversary. I remember finding out on Christmas while listening to his music. It was pretty rough.
Sobering, as they like to say.
I haven't had a drink since. Zaps, gonna need another 12-minute drive here, boys. It would be
Yeah.
ideal.
Dude, Aaron Donald, are you serious?
Yeah. Some people would refer to him as a game wrecker. Did I turn my mic back on?
It's on.
I'm here. Okay. Just double checking.
I don't know how much street cred I was going to give you for some of this commentary, but
None. I don't deserve it. Rams jump offside.
that's great. Think Stafford win a Super Bowl? I mean, it's a good question. He's probably
I think
got
it's unlikely he will win, but he could win.
yes. No, I was going to put a number on it. I'd say in his entire career, I'm going to go with 30%. That's what I'm going to say. He's going to be on presumably a good team for 5 years. That gives me about a 30% chance, roughly, I would say.
It's gonna be hard for them to beat this year, honestly. Like, this is probably gonna be his most likely year.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't know what
is,
their
yeah.
exact chances are. Like, they've got to
What
be
would you
somewhere
handicap it as, roughly? 7, 8%, 8%?
I'd say higher. Like, actually, no. Let me think about this for a second.
Think about that one there. That's 12.5 to 1, roughly. 12.5 to 1, yeah. 8%.
Yeah, like, they're probably higher than that, but
10?
I'm just going off of the like what their actual price is at a sports
Yeah,
book.
but the juice is heavy at the top, though, right?
I think 12, 13 to 1 is a pretty safe place to put it.
I'd say definitely say top 10, Gabe. Maybe 6th, 7th. He's a great player.
He's got to be an MVP candidate this year.
I think he hurt himself. He started off the best. Nice job, George.
Let me pull up the I feel like I do this every stream, but the
There's a chance, Seahawks fan. I'm gonna go with. Are they in the same conference? No.
Stafford is currently leading the league in NEA, which is a quarterback stat, adjusted net yards per pass attempt, and he's leading quite heavily above Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Tom Brady, Kirk Cousins.
Oh, nice play, 94. I'd say 1 and 1.2 million. That's my guess.
For what?
The chances of Lions
Lions Texans Super Bowl?
yeah, 1 and 1.2 million. I didn't know George Kittle has a Master Chief Halo tattoo. Oh. Ugh.
Not going 0-17, yeah.
Hey, you ruined a perfect season.
I saw an interesting question, and you guys will probably know the answer, but does a tie count as a half win?
It's a tiebreaker.
Because I saw someone ask a question along the lines of, like, if you were going to tie all 17 games, like, where would you actually sit in the standings?
That's such a good question. No, I don't think. I think it only counts as a tiebreak. I think you'd be in last. It's got to be a false start against the Niners here.
The Jets is mostly poor talent, and the coaching isn't good enough to overcome it.
Yeah, but you can make strides, Seahawks. Like, here's a good example. Like, we're not exactly Dan Campbell fans, but the Lions have been competitive in a lot of games. The greatest kick of all time made them lose to the Ravens. They lost in overtime to the Vikings. They just went to overtime against the Steelers. Who else they give a really good run to as well? One other team as well. So, like, they're trying. They're a bad team, but the intent is there. Do you know what I mean? What a play by Debo.
Crazy.
Oh. Yeah, it was the Rams, right, Josh Allen? Yeah, it was the Rams. They almost scored. You're right. Like, that, I can handle that. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, Houston and Jacksonville are just dying a slow death. You could make kind of the comparison to the Jets. I guess they have 2 wins now. I guess that counts for something. I'm not sure it does. That was a sick play by Debo. Holy smokes, man.
It looked very impressive live.
Man, 15 held his block on Ramsey. Ooh.
Is that Jalen Hurd, or am I like way? Is Jalen Hurd even on the team still?
I don't think so. Yeah, but you trade like
Juwan Jennings. Jared Goff is fine. Like he was hurt and they didn't get it done, but like the guy was the quarterback in a Super Bowl recently. Like the guy is definitely good enough to be in the league. He's not the best. Like, that's safe to say. Way too early. Like Lawrence is good. Like Lawrence is he's got all the physical tools.
I agree with Zaps. The only thing I do like about the Lions is their offensive line isn't bad. It's not a bad O line, and that's not a bad place to start. Let's put it that way. I didn't even see how that got through. Oh, and Ayuk, what a play! Wow, Ayuk with yards after the catch. That's a team that is specifically built for Yak, right? Like this team, every player. Dude, Ramsey kind of gave up on that play too. There you go. Dude, this is the best Debo game I've seen yet.
This has been his season, though. He's been unreal. Like, he's been
Yeah, but
so
that was like
productive.
this game is particularly good.
That the catch on 3rd and 7 was a special play.
Ridiculous. Dude, how does he beat? Nice, man.
It's great. He didn't hesitate to. Like, he knew exactly where he wanted to go when he got the ball.
Dude, I used to like Sean Payton a lot as a coach, but when you look at his decision making in game, it's so atrocious. I can't sign off on him. If I own the Saints, that's where I would be starting first. And it sounds crazy to fire a guy who's won you a Super Bowl. It's just it's tough.
Worst quarterback of all time is probably me.
Yeah.
But if there was a guy that Fat Guy and I haven't liked historically, it'd be Geno Smith in recent history. But he's not the worst ever. Fat Guy and I don't really know college stuff, so we can't comment on Pickett.
I can't, yeah.
Way too early to say who's going to start for the Saints next season. Yeah, the Rams D is already looking tired. Saints should have beat the Titans. I don't know.
The should is a tough word to write off on.
Like this game, the Rams should be beating San Francisco, but San Fran right now on the live line is 4-1 to win this game, or 1-4, whatever it is. This is the thing, though, Michigan, is that let's say Detroit drafts first overall, and let's say there's another guy like Trevor Lawrence that's like the no-brainer. This is a quarterback of the future. Like, the Lions are still going to be bad for like 2 or 3 seasons. Like, they need a lot to turn that team around. Like, they don't need. Like, I would rather have a team that builds up like a defense and, some of the core players that you need, like offensive linemen, which the Lions already do have. But like, if you can add to that even more, that way when you do have the chance to bring in a really good quarterback, like, it'll be the difference maker. It'll be like when Alex Smith joined Kansas City type of thing.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Like, because if the Lions get Trevor Lawrence, so they're Jacksonville next year. That's what they are. And they would need like a major coaching change and a very, very fortuitous like roster moves to even compete. And like, things can change quickly in the NFL, but like, the Lions are a special case. Like, the Lions need help in a lot of places. Chiefs have been a threat this entire time.
Yeah, they're still a good team. Like, just haven't got the results, but still.
Highlighting the time of possession.
I turned my head. What did it say?
Well, it's 29 plays for San Fran, and it's like 15-5 time of possession. Something like that. Hello, football fans. What's going on, Don?
Wow, it's Don Pham. Had to do it there.
Yeah. Uh, Jay, I'd stay put and hope for the best in the upcoming draft.
I might just draft three best defensive players because I hear it's very top heavy with defensive players. We talked about it with me and a couple other guys who I respect their opinions about college. They think there's a good chance there's three defensive linemen there. You might as well, right?
I'm not sure. Servu's in the Discord, but he hasn't been very active. I always want like long-term success for teams. Like I would much rather like get the right coach, get the right GM, and like slowly build your team. Like look at how good Cleveland is right now. Like Cleveland as a roster
Well,
is
they're 500 technically, Big Rise. So.
they are like record wise, but like coaching wise and roster wise, like it's a very good team.
It is.
Like Mayfield's been average. Like he's not my favorite player and not my favorite quarterback, but like he's been average, and that's kind of the one thing. Like, you know, if they had Stafford, they'd be very similar to the Rams, I think.
Yeah, that's one way of calling it. I think they'd actually be better. I think the coaching's better with Stefanski because I'm more interested in in-game decisions more than anything, and Stefanski's right there with them. You know, doesn't mean you're going to get the result, but at least your best foot is forward. So.
I think Hurts has played well though. Like I don't like obviously Russell Wilson is an upgrade on Jalen Hurts, but like over the next 5 to 10 years, I don't know. Yeah, like if you're happy with Hurts, then why would you want to like complicate that? Like if you're that organization, like would you get rid of Hurts to just so you could bring in Russell Wilson for like 2 to 3 years? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Mac Jones has played really well.
He's an offensive rookie of the year so far. So.
And then Micah Parsons has just been dynamite on defense. Holy smokes,
tough,
man.
tough.
Yeah, Mac Jones is at least quarterback wise.
Where did this close at? I wonder if I had a. Gonna figure out what the closing line is. I wish I had something that could tell me that.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Jalen Waddle is far ahead for receptions, but it's gonna be hard for Jamar Chase not to get votes as Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Jamar Chase?
Yeah.
No, he's behind Mac Jones.
You think so? Like
100%.
He's on pace for like 1,600 yards and 14 touchdowns. Like that's pretty impressive.
I think it's quarterback. I think he's still second fiddle here. I think Mac Jones has the lead.
And then Jalen Waddle has 60 catches in his first 10 games.
It's pretty good. That is pretty good though. There's no denying that.
Najee Harris has just as many receptions as Jamar Chase. So you can make an argument for Najee Harris as well. Najee Harris actually has more yards than Chase and one less touchdown. Think about how impressive Alabama would have been with Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris, and Devontae Smith all on the team.
It's like hard to believe that's a college team. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm. Yeah, Mac Jones lit the Browns D up. Browns most schizo team in the league. Yeah, it's.
Oh, Trayvon Diggs is he's not a rookie though, Jay. Otherwise, he would be unquestionably. He's going to be the Trayvon Diggs is going to be the defensive player of the year if things don't change for sure.
So there's a chance that the Cowboys could have the defensive player of the year and the rookie defensive player of the year. And Prescott's on pace for MVP as well.
He's in the MVP conversation. I don't think he's favored, but.
So what's the flag on this if the center huts the ball and then grabs it first?
I don't know. That's got to be something. You got to lose the down, I think, too.
And
you got to be a 10-second runoff.
I saw a terrific trick play in college this week where...
that was just a false start? On the center? How can the center false start?
I don't know, but they did. I saw a sweet trick play where a quarterback lined up under center and did a fake QB dive or a fake quarterback sneak. And they hutted the ball to the halfback, and the halfback did like the Derrick Henry jump pass. It was
That's
cool. It was a pretty cool.
That should have been more of a
play.
Damning penalty than that because he essentially picked up a fumble. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Just such a rare thing to happen. Jay smells a turnover. 3rd and 13.
Zaps has a point. Why are they using timeouts here? Are they gonna call one now? Like, what was San Fran doing? I'm agreeing.
I think
with
they're
Zaps
just.
here.
I think they're just conceding.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Now they take a timeout with 13 seconds left. That makes no sense.
Woof, Kyle is right, and Mickey almost alluding to this earlier.
Yeah, the Livo used 56.5. It makes absolutely no sense for San Fran to take a timeout now. Doc's got the over 15.5 carries for Mitchell, so a tackle. What an
Should have
athletic
used those
play.
timeouts is right. Just like what?
DJ Jones looking pretty athletic there on that for a big man on that tackle. Look at that tackle,
That was
man.
awesome.
6'1",
In the open
320
field.
pounds.
That was awesome. The the oh man. For a big guy to make a tackle in the open field like that, I don't but I don't understand. Okay, that fake was pretty garbage. I like what Doc D said. I agree with him. And why how do I put this? Why like I still am perplexed by the lack of timeouts from Kyle Shanahan. It always goes. It's that saying that we've been saying all year. Do you want to win? Like a lot of like it's just so weird the incompetence at like these are multi-billion-dollar companies essentially. These teams. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
What I take from it is like a lot of these teams have their strength. Like both of these coaching staffs, I feel like are very good to like plan for a game, but like in-game stuff, it's the same with like Andy Reid. Like Andy Reid is a very good comparison where it's like pre-game he can do a lot of damage to beat you, but like in-game it's always questionable. Whereas like
Yep.
Belichick's been the best at both. I know not so much
In
anymore
game, no,
because
he
of
hasn't.
but like as far as like taking advantage and making the most out of his
Maybe adjustments. I don't know. I think he falls in the same category, right? Like, you could say those guys are better than the Stefanskis of the world, but in game, you give up way more, right? Like, yeah, they probably gain 5% and then lose 12 on in game, and the difference is being good at in game decisions is easy. It's by comparison. There's no way you could even if you groomed a kid to be a football coach, it'd be very hard for him to replicate the game planning process of a Bill Belichick. But you get kids in Madden that have better in-game management than these guys do. I don't.
yeah.
There's no. It's not that difficult, right? It's a solved thing. You can't teach a robot to lead men, but a robot, as far as making math decisions, is better than you. Like, I don't know why these guys haven't admitted it. You know, like why don't they have a guy? I don't get why they don't have a guy. Some kid with a Madden controller to press select. Come on.
What a heads up play by Jones.
That's just crazy good.
That was really, really,
really
impressive.
hard to do that.
DJ Jones from Mississippi, 6th-round pick in 2017. Niners get the ball to start the second half. I think it's interesting because there's a bunch like Zaps is saying it in our chat. Like, how I think what's so bizarre about this and why it sticks out and like irks us is that there's a lot of things in football that like we would have no clue and don't understand.
None. There's
but
tons.
the clock management side of things and like to maximize your chance of winning, like it feels like the average fan at home knows more than some of these coaching staffs. And I think that's what's kind of like the most like perplexing part of it. It looks like Josh Allen's on a live OU of 52.5. The live line that I see right now at Pinnacle for halftime is 54. Not for half, but like what the line is right now.
What a great half, more or less, from the Niners, despite that gaffe at the end. They just said they're not expecting Deebo Samuel running back. You expect a running back. He was positioned as a running back. It wasn't like jet sweep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My bad, Josh. My bad. Josh, that NBA middle was masterful. That was awesome.
I'm
Fat Cat
very
and I,
happy that you got that. That made me happy.
yeah, Fat Cat and I were we were working on stuff when we saw that, and it brightened our day.
Because that's the whole point, right? Like it's um that's what we do this for, is to try and get you guys more educated, right? And that's, I don't know, that I like when I see stuff like that. It's just good, you know. And then when you hit like that, like that's all the fruits. Because yeah, it's not that you won money. Think about how much money you risked on that. You probably got like 35 to 1 if you were to look at the juice. You know what I mean? Like that's a really really big deal, right?
Oh man, San Marino lost 10-0 to England in qualifiers.
You could have bet on San Marino at 50 to 1.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I read an update on Kyler Murray, and Arizona has a bye next week. It makes me think even more so that he doesn't play. Like, to be extra cautious, like give him
Really?
2 more weeks. And that's just like there's no that's just my gut with how that team handles is going to handle it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I don't know. I was kind of. It's the only time I've ever like heard a coach and like actually believed his opinion on um uh like believed his opinion on something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's been extra cautious and he's stuck to it, right? So we brought up the Tony Dungy thing in the video, but like it's not a direct comparison, but it's interesting at the least, right? So I don't know if that's going to work for him. Like they haven't even won the division yet, really.
Yeah.
Like this weekend's going to help, right? Like assuming the Niners win, this weekend's definitely going to help them. But like even though they took a loss, I got to use the restroom. We'll be right back.
Sounds good. It seems a little bit bizarre for Al Michaels to be on the Peyton and Eli show on Monday night instead of in the booth, but I guess he does the Sunday night game, so it makes sense. I know Fat Guys ridiculed it, but I actually like listening back to like the highlights of this.
And we're back.
they're showing some Brady stuff. I don't know if it's like highlighting a documentary on him or.
It's my guess. You know what is interesting to me? I think Brady is a guy who does realize how lucky he is. You know, obviously we don't know him. He'd be the most biggest pompous jerk in real life, but
He doesn't
like
portray that like at least to the media and how he handles himself, but Newton is according to Yahoo, Newton is going to start for the Panthers. So I know he
he
started getting
deserves it.
first. He started getting first team reps. He's just a better quarterback than PJ Walker. Despite how well PJ Walker played in the XFL, like it just hasn't translated to the NFL. So as long as he knows the playbook and knows what they need to do, then he should be starting. So it's pretty much just like how quickly can he get there.
I think it gives pause to well, if he continues to have success, it's going to be hard to go back to Darnold.
Oh yeah, I think they've. I don't think they like what they've saw from Darnold. I don't think they would have brought
How did
Newton
they
back
not
in.
know?
I think they took their chance and they were wrong.
Like they get like you and I thought like we have Bridgewater higher than Darnold, and then they traded for him, and I'm like, I guess what do I know?
Yeah, and the thing though is like maybe with this coaching staff over a couple seasons, Darnold can like turn into something, but it's just like it's not going to be instant. I think what they wanted. Carolina's such an interesting team. Like, I don't mind that they took a shot at a quarterback. It's just a shame that, they passed up on Teddy because Teddy is just a better player than Darnold at this time. Welcome back, Jay. But Carolina's got like I remember at the start of last season, like we were looking at their roster, like it's pretty bad, and like it's turned into a decent roster.
That defense isn't bad.
Yeah. If they could get consistency out of their offense, like they're not like on the upper echelon of teams, but like they're a team that can compete every week. Oh yeah, is Newton's touchdown celebration. It's at the very least
I didn't
Newton
even
is
see.
he's good in the end zone, like in the red zone.
Yeah,
The
he's in the red zone.
Newton scored a touchdown, like a rushing touchdown, and he took his helmet off and he just was yelling like I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. Like he yelled it like 5-6 times in a row.
Well, it was probably a guy who doesn't have much else going on. Like he's a football player.
Yeah.
And then, you lose that privilege because it most certainly is, right? And then it comes back. It's got to be a good feeling, I would imagine.
Especially for him to go back to Carolina, like it's a nice feel good story. I saw a thing
that's
about
true.
They had a thing with Belichick talking about Cam Newton, and Belichick said like he was very, very complimentary, and he said Newton was actually like a pleasure to be around. It was actually a really, really good guy and teammate. So like if Belichick just doesn't say those kind of things, like
No,
he might.
Yeah, but he's nicer to guys that aren't on his team, if that makes any sense.
Oh, definitely. But it's still like, he didn't have to go that far, but that's just the way it is. I don't know what the exact term is. Is it paragliding or hang gliding? Whenever those guys come in from like out of the plane and land on the field.
I don't know, hang gliding, I guess. Not paragliding is you need a boat pulling you.
Yeah, you're probably right. Those guys come in very fast. Like I was watching a camera of a guy come in. Like it always looks like it's so easy to land until you see how fast they're coming in.
Well, I think they have to because like you can come in a lot slower, but you have to circle more. But I imagine that takes like a huge radius. Do you know what I mean? Like
It'd
whereas
have
like
to make you dizzy too.
I know it's like it's not that. I don't think it would like going that far wide.
Yeah.
But then going like in terms of a stadium is pretty narrow, right?
It looks like they were using Jeff Wilson Jr. as a blocker on some of these runs.
Nothing wrong with that. That would surprise some people. That might give you a weird matchup.
He's such a big running back that it can kind of work in your favor. Yeah. Orange flavored bubbly.
Arizona.
And I definitely do I definitely do like
can?
it. Like it in a can. So I don't like to get like I usually like to keep it with on-field stuff, but I just find this very interesting. I know Fat Guy's gonna have some opinions. I haven't talked to him about it, but Gruden's coming back at the league, and they're pretty much saying that like, how do 300,000 emails get leaked or whatever or looked at, and like he was the only person that they highlighted.
That had his
being,
leaked. How many? You went through this many emails and they only leaked his.
It's pretty. You know,
they
when
have
you
a good
say
point.
they have a very good point. Like, there's no like I'm sure it's professional emails. Like most of it is probably.
Well, yeah, but what's the math on it? You don't think there's other gutter emails?
Oh, I'm
you know?
sure there's terrible things that happen in those emails. It's very interesting.
I don't understand though how you can get that much flack for something you said. I don't know, privately. You know, I'm not justifying anything you said, but like we're guys. I say horrible stuff all the time off camera. You know, as I almost hope people do. You're supposed to be more candid and foul, you know, even if you don't mean it, right? So I don't know. I hope he nails him to the ground, nails him to the floor, because it just I haven't really liked what Henry Ruggs is getting less limelight than Aaron Rodgers. He's less of a star, but what he did was deplorable in comparison. You know, and then the same with John Gruden. He wrote some bad things in an email. Not trying to justify anything, but is it worth the punishment he got? I don't think so at all.
I just find it very interesting. Like, if it's
I
that
do too.
many, if it's that many emails, like it's
The math on it doesn't make sense. It's kind of like when John McAfee died and he had that kill switch or whatever, and it said he had 30 terabytes of documents. Terabytes? How many documents of that? I'd be scared if it was 1 gigabyte. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Not a trillion things. Like, it doesn't mean anything then, you know what I mean? So, like this, we have a concrete number.
Rams defense come out and make a play here on 3rd and 8.
So the only time they haven't given up a touchdown, eh?
That's probably why San Fran didn't take a timeout at the end. They didn't want to screw up their
streak. How
That was bizarre. Did you see they had a guy like 30 yards off the line of scrimmage and he came sprinting in? It was
Where
like
did
that.
Fassel go? Oh, the Cowboys. I wonder why he left.
That is a good point. Maybe he just got paid more to go to Dallas.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's
Maybe his
got to
contract
be.
was up. There's a million reasons actually. It's just a guy that I would think that you would want to keep around. You know.
I feel like Dallas spends more on coaching stuff than a lot of other teams.
Yeah,
If I had to guess.
how do you get McCarthy then? And Jason Garrett. Oddly, McCarthy's had a good year though, and he's in the conversation for coach of the year. So, boy, do I have egg on my face.
Ouch.
It's hard to say, but it's true.
Well, I think the offensive coordinator's done a terrific job. I forget his name.
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I think Kellen Moore has done a very good job there. All of us have praised him watching some of those games live. I hate to give plugs, but this is almost a negative one. Have you ever bought anything at the source?
Yeah. I'm not even joking. Oddly enough, there was one near my house.
Yeah.
And I bought this. A K400. I have 3 of them. I bought it at I got it on sale for $18.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What's going on, Jake?
Hello, Jake Jacobs.
And Dak has just been like I quietly might not be the right word, but like he's played so well. Like
I don't think he was healthy to start the year, and he still played well.
Yeah, like he's been
good
gangbusters the last few
years.
years.
Player. He's just a good player. What a quarterback pick like that. You know what? I said Russell Wilson was the best pick the last 20 years, 3rd round. Dak might be the best pick of the last 8 in terms of value. I think he is. Undoubtedly now. Yeah.
Like, unless you want to take a guy like maybe Aaron Donald, like.
Yeah, but he's a 1st-round pick. Like.
Yeah. What was Dak, a
third? Not the same thing. No, Dak's later, I think.
I'll take a look.
Fourth round.
He was the only quarterback drafted in that draft that's still with his team.
He's starting. Oh, man. 92 got in the backfield so fast.
There's some comical names here. I have to bring this up. So you have Wentz, Goff, Prescott as like the three main
notable
guys.
Yeah.
There's Jacoby Brissett, Cody Kessler, Jeff Driscoll, Brandon Allen, 1st-round pick Paxton Lynch,
out of the league,
Kevin Hogan, Nate Sudfeld, Connor Cook, Cardale Jones.
Oh, yeah.
What a play by 29. I forgot about Paxton Lynch, and it's only been, like, this is 5 years ago. This isn't that long.
He was out of the league 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Is he in the CFL, or did he not cut it there either? I've watched Kessler a lot, Mickey. He had some okay games. He played on a pretty bad team. Like, that's not going to help you either. Oh, they're playing the fake. They're playing. It's like me and Madden just playing a regular defense.
Yeah.
In special teams, I used to do that against you all the time. God, here, have it. Have the free kick or whatever. I'm never gonna block a punt anyways. That's
Well, you know
awesome.
what's funny about that is like the punt was short. Like I know you can't really do this, like it's so like revisionist, but as a punter, can't you take a couple more steps before you kick that one?
Well, have you seen Michael Dixon? Michael Dixon can punt at any angle running.
Yeah, that's
You
pretty
know, that's
impressive.
why there's less crossover between rugby and football than there ought to be. Because I think football can adopt a lot of rugby principles, a lot of them, to find it, to find the optimal way of doing things. Like the optimal way to kick a field goal and to kick a punt, it probably isn't what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Saw Lynch play in college; he was good. Yeah, yeah, I don't doubt he was good in college, but like it's the gap where people are. I always think it's funny when people go, "Oh, so and so sucks." Well, so and so plays in or even Jared Goff, for instance, he plays in the NFL. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's they don't suck. They're still a professional athlete compared to uh, most quarterbacks in the league. Sure, but
So Paxton Lynch is on the Saskatchewan Roughriders,
is he
but he
starting?
doesn't play. So he was on the Broncos 2016, 2017,
Yes.
Seahawks and Steelers in 2019. So he wasn't on a team in 2018, wasn't on a team in 2020, and now he's with the Rough Riders. And it looks like the Broncos actually traded up to get him. And then the Seahawks ended
They,
up drafting Jermaine Ifedi and Nick Van Ette with the picks that
yeah, that worked out.
it did it work out actually.
No, no one won in that trade.
Well, I'm pretty. Isn't Ifedi still? Is he still playing?
I think
He's
so.
on the Bears,
I guess that means something.
and Nick Van Ette is plays as well. Like I don't know, it wasn't great either way.
That's a huge false start. Got to be on 85 on Kittle.
As far as the best players drafted in that draft, it goes Prescott, Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Ezekiel Elliott, Jalen Ramsey, DeForest Buckner, Jared Goff.
Buckner's a big player.
Interesting enough too, like fourth, fifth, and seventh. It was actually a pretty decent draft at the top. We've got Goff, Wentz, Bosa, Elliott, Ramsey, Ronnie Stanley, DeForest Buckner, Jack Conklin, Leonard Floyd. Eli Apple is kind of like the first
Yeah,
miss, I guess you could say. Like, and is Eli Apple even a miss? Like the guy still plays.
he's a big miss. He's a miss.
Big misses were Corey Coleman,
Yep.
Josh Doxson, Laquan Treadwell, Paxton Lynch, Joshua Garnett, Robert Kimdichie.
He's still playing at least. Corey Coleman, who drafted him?
I know you're saying that ironically.
Sarcastically, and yes,
Yes.
disgusted. Man, that was an interesting. Um they rushed Jalen Ramsey there, and he got a good jump on that ball. Pretty close to him knocking that down or worse.
Oh, Von Miller's out there.
He's not playing every snap, so maybe there's a conditioning issue.
They're highlighting how Garoppolo's perfect tonight, only thrown 10 balls.
Oh my, how do you stay on your legs? Anybody seeing this? What is going on? How do you stay upright?
You know
And that's
what's
some balance for a guy like that.
you know what I've been
Wow.
impressed by with Samuel is he seems like he dictates like in the open field. Like you know most guys like it feels like guys come up and get like a lick in or like trying to pop the ball out on a guy like that. It feels like
Yeah,
he dictates the pace.
the opposition. Yeah, that I don't know how you stay on your feet like that while you're trying to catch a ball. Man, balance on that. Man.
He's a very unique player. Like I don't really remember a guy that's similar.
Yeah, that's a good point. Me neither. And he's hitting his stride, right?
Like maybe Anquan Bolden, and I feel like it's still a terrible comparison.
Yeah. Well, you're thinking like rigid toughness. It's not bad. This is crazy good. Dude, these are like good runs. You know what I mean?
It keeps putting them in very like manageable third and shorts, and
Yeah,
they've been
that's
able to
like
get it
that's
done.
more than big plays though. You know what I mean? Like he's our type of guy. Like he really is. He gets the tough the really tough yards. He really does.
Josh Allen saying that the OU's in our favor now. They don't have a live one up for me, but it's got to be close. These
Man,
long
these
drives help.
drives. Yeah, we're both saying the same time.
Congrats, Jay, on hitting that Columbus underdog money line.
125. That's nice. Cash in there. Jeff Wilson took a really nice line there.
I can't tell if like Floyd's hurt or he's just dogged.
Okay. You see Donald still get back there? Holy smokes.
That play was broken from the start.
Oh, the center snapped it early.
Alex Mack, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he is. It is. Ah. As a quarterback, though, you should, if you saw that, you should just run out of the box and bomb it out of bounds. That was the wrong guy, too, he threw to. I wonder where this flag's going to be from. I feel like it was an illegal shift, like with that run. He didn't even say it. It's a legal shift, yeah. Why isn't he talking on the mic?
I think they're still trying to figure out what McVay wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wonder what the timer's like on the like declining or accepting penalties.
That's a great question.
They accept it. It pushes them back, but I almost would have declined that one with how that play turned out.
This is where it gets tough though. Like,
Works out about the same if they accept it or not.
results based guy.
I don't know exactly where they are on their field, but that puts them kind of at fringe field goal range, I feel. I get it that it's cinematic to like zoom in on all these players, but it's really hard to tell what's actually going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Man, that was a bad read.
Just how that play was designed, and the Rams did well. So we were going to get a 50-yard attempt here from, is it Robbie Gould? Yeah.
Yeah, the old legend, man.
They're highlighting that he missed games. I remember they had someone else who was kind of sketchy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Robbie. Oh yeah. Yeah, Robbie is money.
Live OU is 49.5.
Why'd the Bears get rid of him?
I don't know.
Probably
And then
better
you
than
remember when he, like, Robbie Gould was refusing to go to San Francisco? There was a
Yeah,
time
yeah.
there where he was holding out.
Well, they just paid him more money.
Yeah. Robbie's better than Gould.
It's gold. You know, the U is to make it less obvious. He's descendant of Elliot.
The power went out at my place, and I don't know what it is, but when the power goes out, like, you pretty much can't get data either. It's rough. You forget how much you
Yeah.
actually, like, rely on the internet for a lot of things.
The one thing I'm thankful about in those spots is it's a good day, it's a good opportunity to shut off. And then I I have half my books on my Kindle and half in real life for this very point. So I get to crack a book, and then I almost want it to last for longer than it does when it does happen. You
I
know
get
what I
what
mean?
you mean, yeah. The I was thinking about the same thing today. I have I got it as a present a long time ago, the Book of Basketball by Ben Simmons, by Bill Simmons. And I actually haven't finished it. I got really far into it. I enjoyed what I read. But I'm curious now, like, because it's a little bit dated, like, since I got it till now. So I'm curious what has changed.
Yeah. I'm thankful for PRNFG. Thank
Hell yeah,
you.
Jay. I'm wondering, has anybody watched any of the new Curb episodes? Have you watched the new Curb episodes, Fat Guy?
I kind of broke up with Curb a few years ago.
Oh,
I
so-
love the show and always have a love for it. But I'm one of those assholes, and I'll be honest, a character flaw where like you hear too many people you don't like talk about how much they like it, it like sours you for it. And I haven't even given the product a chance. So it's out of some weird removed form of spite.
Yeah. That definitely goes, I know how much you like Seinfeld, which is definitely not popular at all.
Okay, a lot of people that I don't like always say they like Friends instead of Seinfeld. It's a good metric, okay?
That is a good metric.
That was always my way of knowing whether I was going to be able to have a relationship with a woman. That was the first question. Oh, you a big Friends fan? And if they were honest and said I hate it, then I had a good shot at it. You know?
It's like the Artie Lang lend me $50 type of thing.
Yeah. But that was John Belushi. I think Artie Lang stole it. But yes.
That makes sense.
Yes. And I do that too all the time.
I didn't catch
Imagine
which
if you
linebacker
asked me,
that
I'd just
was.
end up giving it to you.
Yeah. Was that Fred Warner?
I think so.
I
Yeah,
can't-
it
I
was.
can't
The
see
long
with
hair.
the,
Yep. Yep. Some nice speed on that run.
Oh. Sony Michelle
Sony.
with the carry. Yeah, Survivor's one of those ones that you can definitely get like locked into it.
I had a better relationship with my mom because we used to watch that when I was young. So when Richard Hatch won the first one, it was so interesting.
I wouldn't mind a kick at that can.
Well, Richard Hatch likes cans, so and a drop from Cooper Cup.
Uncanning.
A drop from Cooper Cup. Right, it is American Thanksgiving on Thursday. Or no, it's already happened. I don't even know.
It's coming up. I think it's like
To not this Thursday, the one after, right? Oh, there'll be more games.
It's the 25th, so it's in 10 days.
They're playing this weird special teams look next Thursday.
We're gonna have to figure out what games to live stream that night. Is there any requests?
We should ask them what schedule works for them because we don't have. You and I are sitting on the computer, anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a vote in the. Can you do votes in the Discord?
We could figure it out. We've got Bears Lions play in the morning, Raiders Cowboys in the afternoon, and then Bills Saints is the night game. I almost feel like that Raiders Cowboys game is probably going to be the most interesting out of the three, but Bears Lions is going to be like a close game, like an early game in Detroit. Like what do you think that line opens at? Bears -3?
That's a tough one. Huh.
Have the Bears blown anyone out this year?
They beat the Raiders 20-9, which was a good win for them.
They lost to the Rams. They beat the Bengals by 3. Yeah. They already played the Lions. They beat them by 10. They beat the Raiders by 11.
I was right then. I got their biggest win right. Nice. Yep. I say Bears -4. Oh, there we go. So Big Rye's got the middle there.
Lions -7.
Yeah. I wonder what the odds would be on that.
Mud said stream all of them.
Yeah, sure.
Zivvono brings up a good point. Is it just me or should the Rams have gone for it on 4th and 4? Let's take a look at the 4th down bot.
Yeah, bring out the bot. Yeah. He's right. That's a good point.
And to no one's surprise, go for it wins out. It's like a 1% difference in win probability, and they actually did punt it. So
stack all of these up. Most teams are going to lose a win.
It's especially tough, like in this game specifically. San Fran's been able to extend these drives, so like there's not a lot of possessions in this game.
No, I was gonna say I have it the same as Mickey in my head, like thinking it over. I have Bears minus 3.5. That half point's like it's like a big argument though. You know what I mean? Like this is a big disagreement for Big Ryan. If he has him at 3, so
Well, the reason I say that is that I think this, like, it's a Thursday morning game. Like, it's such a rare one to have. Like, it's one of those. It's like a London game. Like, it almost comes closer to neutral than.
yeah, you might be right.
Oh, face mask on that play. It's at least going to negate a hold, or I'll see what happens with this play. It's a fourth down bot on Twitter. I'll share the link.
It's not perfect, but it's
fun to
updates,
just take a look and see.
It's fun, exactly. Yeah.
It's from the looks of it, it pretty much goes. If you're questioning if a team should go for it or not, they probably should go for it. That's been my experience so far. Because like if it's like 4th and 13 and there's 10 minutes left and it's a 7-point game, then probably not. But like there's a
horse collar on that too. Holy.
Nice play by Ramsey. The Garoppolo's been able to get the ball out of his hands very quickly this game, and it's worked out for them. Yeah, Jake. I agree with what Jake said. That's kind of what's factoring into the line. Like, I don't think you could be like 2.5 is just too low for me. So I think 3 is kind of the sweet spot. But like, I could see that line being, up to 4.5 if it's
interesting.
Depending on
you
how
have a
many
point there.
Depending on where they want these.
Samuel tearing this game up.
There's not even that much separation. Like, this is just a good play by Garoppolo.
That's what I like about it. Is like it's he's tough. He has good hands and good balance, and it's tough yards. Like,
yeah.
And these drives are just longer because of stuff like that. You win games. Third down, no problem. You got Debo and George. Yeah. It's not much of an argument against that statement. Nice block, Kittle. They're saying Ramsey's trying to take this game over. It's 24-7, bro. Check the scoreboard.
Well,
he had
also
2 pass deflections. I mean, what?
He made that play on a 7th round, like rookie or second-year player.
Yeah, it's not. No one's saying that's not a good play, but like, that has to be business as usual. I don't. You know what I mean?
Well, part of it is like
name, they give you such like.
They do, but he's also a leader on that team. Like the Rams need some life, and if he's going to give it to them, then great. San Fran, it looks like didn't get that snap off in time. I wonder if they used a timeout.
Yeah, they did. The throw was bad. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it was it was probably Garoppolo's worst throw of the night. It was way behind, and
this is not exactly my favorite commentating crew. I don't like this one.
I was going to ask you this. Like, who do you think is a good person for them to bring in? Because I was going like, this isn't the best crew. Like, it's a shame like that Gruden did all this stuff because he is one of the better people I found.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Oh, that's a good question.
You know
Like I
who
don't
an interesting name is, and he's doing lots of great stuff, is Nate Burleson. It'd be interesting to have Nate Burleson as a color commentary guy.
maybe. I don't know if I
Romo's done,
like that one.
yeah, Romo's done a good job. Even
Romo
Aqib
comes to
Talib,
mind.
Talib is at least entertaining. Like throw Talib
Yeah,
on a
I
Monday night.
no Talib is like uh uh what you call it, Oscar De La Hoya at a Triller event. Funny for like 5 minutes.
I don't mind watching the games called by Talib,
Are
but
you serious?
they
Are
usually
you
have like a
serious?
3-man group. Like it's not usually just one guy in Talib. It's always like it's entertaining. Like what do you want, right? What do you actually want from your
Well,
commentators?
I'm not
Because
really
this is
like
the opposite. This is as boring as it gets. Like I'm not listening and I'm bored. So it's how
I'm enjoying
polarizing
the
do you want it?
no, the whole point is it's kind of like cooking. Is if you have good ingredients, you don't have to add much. You know what I mean? You just don't mess it up. I was gonna drop a bomb there, right?
Yeah.
It If the product's good, less is more. That's it.
There was actually a point where the audio dropped. I think it might have been the Lions Steelers game. And it was actually very refreshing to just not have any commentary. Just the ambiance of the crowd and the the players.
I tend to like quarterbacks more though for or coaches, like ex coaches. I'm trying to think of a good one though.
So you want like Rex Ryan
Maybe not
and
Rex Ryan. He's
Dante
too
Culpepper.
emotional. Dante Culpepper. I didn't like Greg Olson.
Witten was bad. Witten was just boring,
Yeah, he was bad.
or he was stiff. He's like me on a Pix video.
Oh, ESPN I think would kill to go all mad. I don't think they want to do it though.
Yeah, they like the Manning brothers. Like it's too much work for them at this point. Like they could probably make more money traveling around talking and doing whatever else. Those guys probably do like 100 things, right? Like business wise,
Yeah,
they probably
what's his
got
name? Peyton owns a ton of Papa John's.
3rd and 6, and the Rams managed to stifle San Fran there. He was looking at Kittle, but
That's a good punt. We'll take it. I can't really watch it. I'm not a big fan of the Manning cast. I don't know. You know what's weird? I'm a Joe Buck guy, and I like Gus Johnson too. Like I like just this. You don't. There's not. It's not too flowery. You know what I mean?
they're
Like
gonna elicit excitement when it needs to happen, and other than that,
yeah,
it's
like I mean, Joe Buck's got a few like, and we'll see you tomorrow. Like you know what I mean? Or like catch by Burris, touchdown Giants, Giants win.
well,
Like
did you like Chris Berman when he got his Monday night
oh
appearance at the
jeez,
start of every
no, I did
season?
not.
The I agree with Zapso. Like I like watching the highlights of the Manning stuff, just because there's a lot of interesting points and things that they can bring that you don't hear like on a regular telecast. But I don't know. Commentaries, like I agree with you. It's one of those things that when it's bad, you really realize it, and when it's good, you don't even think about it.
You know who can really like Kevin Harlan. I like too. I got to be real here. That's another guy. Yes, what a sack! No, it's not. What is going on?
That seemed like a very unnecessary hit by Al
Well,
Shafir or whatever
you
the
could
guy's name
technically
is.
hit the ball
Al
out,
Shahir.
right? Because he landed on the ball, right? Yeah, Harlan's got to be it. What is going on with this game? This has been a pretty lucky night too for the great performance by the Niners, but also lucky.
This is like as extreme as it gets though, because you're down 17. There's 15 minutes left in this game. Like, are the Rams going to touch the ball 3 times in the next quarter?
I don't know. Like, what are you hoping for a turnover? And it's a lot harder to get a turnover against a team that's going to run the ball more. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the and also too, it's you tend to fumble a bit more when you're making more, like trying to make more, be more aggressive in your production. Whereas if you have any sort of coaching, you'd be like, okay, make sure that you guys, tuck the ball in real tight here. You don't need that extra, right? Because a turnover is more disaster than not scoring.
Yeah. Unless you're Melvin Gordon, you'll just fumble whenever. Doesn't matter.
On the goal line. Oh.
He had another bad one on a 4th and 1, I believe, and then big play Slay had the 83-yard.
Oh, that was
fumble return, and that was the same play where Bridgewater didn't make the tackle. It was an interesting play. Rams are spooked, shaking in their boots. Yeah. It's Jacob said he's a big Beth Mowens guy. I don't know who Beth Mowens is. I gotta look this up.
You don't know her?
No.
Okay. It doesn't last long at a certain friend of ours' house when she's calling a game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that game was so competitive up to that point, and then it just felt like the Broncos gave up with like Teddy not going in for that tackle. Like, it feels like he's got like health things going on for him not to make that tackle, but
why he could have made a tackle? I never saw this.
It was pretty bad.
It was such
a bizarre play because it's 4th and 1. Denver's, pushing the gas, like, because they could have kicked a field goal. I forget what the exact score was at the time. Yeah, it was a business decision, and it ended up being a bad one. But Gordon fumbles. The ball like bounces into the backfield, and Slay gets it. He drops it. He picks it up again. And, like, at this point, it's, like, almost like one of those ones where it's, like, was he down? Like, is the play over? Like, usually they'd blow it down by then. And then Slay essentially, like, runs around the backfield for a few seconds and breaks free. And then Bridgewater, like, definitely had the chance to, like, at least, like, make contact with him. And he just went, no, I'm not doing it. And then Slay ran for the touchdown.
I have to look at it to get the full context. It's weird. I like football players though. Like, that always bugs me. Don't meet your heroes, right? Listen to Dickie V read Shakespeare to listen to Mullins call a game. That was a sick block by George Kittle. Holy, you couldn't even get his name out. That was impressive.
I sent you the link in Discord, Fat Guy, if you'd like to take a look. It was also one of those plays where, like, Denver's in, like, jumbo, so, like, when Slay gets the ball, it's like, who's going to tackle him?
Well, yeah, he's, like, a really good candidate.
And Denver was down 7 at the time at the end of the third quarter. So that play put them down 14.
Oh my, I'm sorry. That's unforgivable.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That was unforgivable from Teddy. I gotta now not use a bias after that. That's so tough.
"12 AFC teams are 500 or better." Yikes.
Well, I lost to Dylan Toddfield this week. I just noticed that.
Yeah, he's just like San Fran. He's criminally underrated in fantasy.
Who are the 4 best AFC teams? Yikes, is that ever a question?
I'm so dumb. I gotta pull up the
I
list.
know
of
them,
AFC
but I
teams.
want to look at it so I can like rank them in my head.
I'll pull up
Kansas City, LA Chargers, Baltimore Ravens, and Buffalo Bills. That's my maybe Cleveland 5th, Tennessee 6th. I'm gonna go with that. And it's like this is close. I still think the Chiefs are the best team in that division. In that,
Look at the Bills' point differential: 284, 135 against.
yeah, they blew out a bunch of teams, and they only play to blowout teams. Yeah, Chargers D's played okay though, like in some games. It just hasn't worked out as of late.
They've only given up 135 points in 9 games.
Who, the Bills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 points a game. That's what they're giving up right now. That's so impressive.
It really is. The run D is historically terrible in LAC. That's true. Chiefs, Pats, Bills, Titans. I can't quite sign off on the Pats yet. Like they're like 7 or 8 to me.
They might have the second best point differential in the league or in the AFC.
I'd like the Pats to make the playoffs though. Hard for me to leave Baltimore out.
It's so cliche, but I'm probably just going to say that the team's winning and
This is crazy.
well,
that was 4th and 5.
What just happened here?
It. And Deebo Samuel just scored a crazy touchdown. This guy is having the game of holy smokes. Dude, this guy is having this is the best game of his career. This is crazy. This is a crazy good game by Deebo Samuel. That's a great ball though. Holy. Nice block by Ayuk too. That play was just extremely well run. That puts this game away pretty much.
Sure
What are we up here?
does.
24? Need 3 touchdowns with 2 point conversions. I don't see it. That's the tie. This has to be very refreshing for Niners fans. I agree.
Like, to me, I think it's these top four teams. Like, you can't discount the Titans. Like, they're 8-2. They're
I'm not
2 wins
discounting
better.
them. I just it's I'm not going with, my picks aren't determined on or my
On
who I think
Yeah,
is
I
the
know.
best doesn't mean because of
You're using like a power strength if you were gonna set lines.
I'm a Titans fan. Like we like the Titans. We prefer watching the Titans. I just
Yeah.
don't think they're as strong as a lot of the teams listed. Like, like the Colts. The Colts are close for me. Like I had Colts in the top 6 of all teams to start the year. It hasn't exactly panned out that way, but
Well, like there's the division winners right now, or division leaders, I should say, and then you have, like, you can kind of throw the Pats, Colts, and then the entire AFC West and AFC North. Like, it's very, very close between all of those teams.
I don't know.
Colts,
I think
Browns,
Cleveland's better than their
Bengals,
record are.
Steelers, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, Pats. Like, there's just not a lot of room. Eagles could make the playoffs. They sure could. It helps having Washington and Giants in their division. Like, not that those teams are pushovers, but it just helps.
Giants coaching sucks.
You know what's really tough is the Eagles are 0-4 at home.
That's so tough.
Same with the Niners. This is going to be their first win at home. Home is such a weird thing. I'm just looking at the home records for the NFC, and most of these teams are 500 or worse at home.
Jacobs loving the parody this year more than usual for the NFL. I agree, and that was part of the allure of the NFL. Is like anyone can really win, right?
Yeah, like the home stuff, like, it just really puts emphasis on home field advantage is just disappearing. Like, it has
Yeah.
been for years. Like, it's just, in the NFL at least, there's just not a huge edge being at home.
That was a nice pop by that Al Sharir. That guy's got
Yeah, Al Shair is. It's been a few big hits so far this game.
He has. He's been physical. Dude,
That's another
94
telling.
looks huge.
That's another telling stat that Mickey just put. Eagles are still a top 10 team in net yards per play. I don't know why I said it yet, but
Yet. Been watching Rounders lately?
yeah. But that's like, it goes back to Hurts. Like, as an Eagles, backer, you got to be happy with Hurts going forward, especially when you can, like, improve the rest of your roster and just get stronger.
There's still a chance that they, like, with all those picks, taking a shot at a QB isn't a terrible idea.
Even just for the possibility to trade later on.
Oh. Actually, Jay, there's a lot of weird Canadian isms that, like, Canada's so big though, like for us to communicate with someone from the Maritimes, like the far east coast of Canada, is a difficulty. Let's put it that way. It's almost like talking like if you were to have a full length like interview with like a Cajun guy.
Yeah. And Zaps brings up good points, talking about how the last 3 weeks the Eagles have faced poor defenses, especially against the run. So the Eagles have taken advantage and been running the ball with success. That's why it's good, right, to back up, like, to look into why these numbers are what they are.
This is another drop.
Oh my goodness. I wonder what the snap count has been for Beckham this game. I haven't really noticed him.
He made the first catch of the game. Jake, I think the mobility of fandom, people are less territorial. I don't think people get into games as much. I think people they're not as outwardly passionate. I think that helps. I think logistics is a huge one. Logistics for traveling is probably a lot easier. That's it. Jake Jacobs nailed a lot of big things there. So
Yeah.
I was trying to explain this to somebody too, like places that aren't historically like tough places to play. Like it's hard to build a home field advantage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like if there was an NFL team in Vancouver, like it's not like
oh my,
it
there'd be
wouldn't be
no home field
diehard.
advantage.
Yeah.
So like the argument too is like SoFi for the Chargers. Like they're how they like remember they did that fight for LA, they lost, okay?
Yeah.
Like people don't like the Chargers as much as the Rams because of that the success at the time, right? Which was so crucial in terms of capturing the fan base. Oh man, he just stripped his own teammate. Holy smokes. But like the Steelers have like a dedicated fan base, you know what I mean? So does Green Bay. Like it's more traditional and it's more grandfathered in. I don't think you can like I don't think you can just start one like that. Like you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Denver, for logistical reasons, will always have the best um, home field advantage. I think
It's like that.
Seattle and KC are the loudest, but I think that's gonna level off too.
I think a lot of it has to do with just how well teams are prepared to handle the noise.
Yeah, what equipment is a lot better these days too.
Is that Kwan Williams in the secondary?
I think so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but on the flip side, Zaps, I I've done very well historically taking Steelers as dogs. Oh, he caught it! He caught it! I don't know if this is gonna count, but that's a crazy catch. So many plays that aren't gonna count this year that were nuts.
I've caught a few balls like that.
Such low hanging fruit. That was so good.
That's life. There we go. Beckham, 12 snaps. The like this just might be like oversimplistic, but and plus all the drops, like they're missing Robert Woods tonight.
It's a receiver. Like how much? Like, come on. It's like a quarter of a point. And I love Robert Woods. He's my favorite receiver. This is like Laurel and Hardy football.
Well, I was gonna say if anyone knows how to come back from 24-point deficits, uh, deficits.
You okay there, Dr. Steve Brule?
I don't know. It's Matthew Stafford. That San Fran defensive back just gave himself a power bomb. Is that Josh Norman? It looked like Josh Norman.
The cheerleader?
No, the corner.
It is. I think the Bills are the most complete team. I disagree. There's a lot of things I don't like about them. Like, coaching in particular. I don't think that the in-game management of the Bills is much of an asset in terms of, especially in terms of the playoffs. I'd like to see someone like the Colts get in.
It's interesting because like there's teams like the Browns and the Colts that have better coaching, but they're not playing better like play to play than the Bills have played this season. So it's a tough one, right? Like it's how much do you value like some of the core things that you care about.
You're capped though with bad in like you can have good performances, but if you have bad in-game decision making, it doesn't matter. So who's the most complete team? That's a great question too, right? See, I criticize that, but I don't have a backup answer, right? So,
well, I think it's like it's fair to say that you and I, like especially last year during the playoffs, like every single play in the fourth quarter for the Bills, it was like, what are they doing? Like, and it stands out so much to us that it's always like just in the back of our minds that like, what are they going to do if they get a lead? And
I tend to lead with the Bucks and the Packers, oddly enough. So like the Packers are weak at receiver to a point. I don't really care though. So I think the Browns have the best roster in the NFL if you take quarterback out. Like there aren't that like the Bucks are hurt, so it's hard to like if you're taking that into account. But the Bucks have a pretty complete team. Like they're pretty good. They really are.
And then there's like the argument like having a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen. Like, does it even matter?
It just covers a million holes. Does it even matter?
Does it even matter to have a complete team anymore? Because what was it? Was it the Colts last year in the playoffs? Did they play the Bills?
Yeah, they did. They played way
played way better, but it didn't matter because it was just Josh Allen.
Josh Allen just
able to do
them. Every
whatever
difficult play he made it. But then look at Josh Allen, man. You get pressure on any quarterback, even against someone like the Jags, you can lose. You know?
Well, it's like Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Like he just didn't have a chance.
Yeah, or maybe playoff Tom's just the luckiest guy, right? Like, it's really hard for me to overlook the Bucks in terms of a more complete team, and it's just how that defense, a front seven's fantastic. You can poke holes in the secondary, especially now with the injuries, but still. Packers are pretty good too.
The thing with Brady is that like it feels like he's going to put at least the offense in the best position that they can like before the snap every play. And it's something that he said on the Manning broadcast, like he talked about like if you cram the box, like you got to throw it outside. If they drop in a deep zone, you throw it short. Like football is pretty simple, right? Like there's only a few things that you can
Yeah, but
do.
he's an expert in the nuance of those concepts.
Yeah, which he just gives his team a big advantage when it comes to like pre-snap stuff. And like in a playoff game, that could be the difference, right? Like if a team, that's the thing that I find with playoffs is like usually a team does something like
Stupid.
Tampa. Well, not so much stupid. It's like think about how Tampa Bay designed to come out to play Mahomes. Like they hit Mahomes in the mouth and he didn't know what to do. Like he really didn't.
Well, they also got they got the benefit. What is he doing? He got the benefit of the two starting tackles being out, right? Like that played a role. That's a cluster injury at two
At a
very
very
important
key
positions. Yeah, it's not
position.
two receivers.
But it's still like the Chiefs could have done things offensively to ease that, where it's not like they're relying on having to just drop back and those guys,
But
block
that was
the.
an oversight. They clearly didn't think they needed it.
Yeah.
There should have been a contingency plan, especially when you have an extra week to prepare. Like they should have become maybe a running team then, even though that's crazy to think. But that's the ignorance you get to have when you have a Mahomes or an Allen,
Yeah.
which is why I'm always waiting for that to blow up in their face because those guys aren't. They're just playmaker, I guess, is the word, right? Like there's no other way around it. Yeah, yeah. Rushing four is a big deal.
And that's how you beat
Yeah.
Brady, right? Like that's the best way to do it. And really, any good quarterback, like it just makes it that much harder.
Well, Brady went against a pretty tough front four, that maybe haven't had the season you'd want, but he went against it this weekend and lost, you know,
Yeah.
and they got injured too. Oddly actually has a good roster, and we never talk about it. I hate this team, but it's Dallas.
Dallas has a terrific roster, and like Prescott's playing so well. They've they've really hit it in the draft with some of these guys. Like Diggs is tremendous. Micah Parsons is terrific. Like there's some really really talented players on Dallas.
And they're hurt on defense. Like DeMarcus Lawrence is one of their best players, and he's still not playing. Is he out for the year?
I feel like he just returned or he's close to returning, but like it's one of those things where I feel like he's not going to be the same, quite makes quite the same impact as he has some of the previous years.
He's still weeks away. He got foot surgery.
He played week 1 and he had 5 tackles in only 43 snaps.
Yeah, I think Jerry listens to his son. To be honest, I think a lot of those are Stephen Jones ideas. Like the CD Lamb thing. I was surprised at. Not that, like, to be honest, CD Lamb has been the best receiver out of that group. I guess Justin Jefferson probably, but you know.
I think like going back to like the most complete team, it's so like even at the top, there's so much parity in the NFL right now. Like the fact that the Jags beat the Bills, like I know anything could happen like in one game, but like the gap between the best teams and the worst teams is really not that big. Like Detroit hasn't won a game and they've been like they could be 4-4 right now. Who's the best team in the NFC?
Mickey's hitting like these should be simple questions to ask and just tough.
Like, to me, Dallas and Tampa Bay are the teams that come to mind. I'm just
I think
looking if
Green
there's
Bay.
anyone
I
I'm
like
meeting.
Green Bay. I like Green Bay and the Bucks. Those are the two.
Arizona's played really well.
Arizona's played well, yeah.
It's like for Arizona, to me, it's like, can they win in Lambeau in a playoff type weather? Like, I don't know. The NFC South has been surprisingly good between the Bucks, Saints, Panthers, and Falcons. Like, there's only 2 wins that separate the Bucks and the Falcons. And like, Bucks are at first, Falcons in fourth.
This is like a weird under, eh?
It is, but
It's
like
not
San
over yet.
Fran went for it on 4th and 5 and scored a touchdown. LA had that fake field goal at the end of the first half that didn't work out. Then they had this drive that looked like it was going to end in a touchdown and didn't. There's so much parity in the league right now. It's actually a really, really fun time to watch.
Great result on a buy low. It was actually kind of a buy high, those apps, in terms of line. Like, it was fishy. Like, this wasn't a very high line for like what it could have been, and they didn't get like volume of bets. Definitely favored the Rams. So I would imagine this is a big parlay ticket for a lot of books.
Probably a lot of teaser plays too on the Rams.
Yeah, that's not going to work out, eh? No matter what number you teased it at.
They were like plus 150, something like that, Jay. Somewhere between like plus 150, plus 170, I'd have to think.
Why would he grab that?
It started
Is that
bouncing.
Trent Cannon?
It started bouncing back towards.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. Well, it's like at the start of the year, this game probably would have been like a pick'em, or like a Rams -1.
Rams -2. Yeah.
Like this division at the start of the year was very close between San Fran, the Rams, and Seattle, and then Arizona was not a distant fourth, but they were like, there was a gap. Matty Ice working on his tan.
I actually don't mind that commercial.
Yeah, Zaps, that's a weird one. Like, I don't. What's the line if Wilson and Murray are healthy?
Ah, it's so weird. Um, minus -3 Arizona
And
with Murray healthy is what you said, right?
yeah, if Murray doesn't play, what's the line for Seattle with this banged up Russell Wilson?
Murray, Seattle -4, 3.5. 3.5's right. 3.5's got to be right. It's like so weird predicting lines because there's so many guys out all the time now, and
Yeah.
it's not good for a brain calculation too. Thankfully, what we've been working on in the background is going to solve a lot of these issues. He's got to be the longest tenured 49er right now on the roster, Jimmy Ward. That's like 10 years easy, right? $2014. No, not quite 7 years. That was longer for some reason.
It's like that game's like almost like a Super Bowl-esque game for the Seahawks. Like if they lose against Arizona, like their season's probably done. Because that'll be 3-7 for the Seahawks. It's going to be hard for them to make up ground on a team that's 9-2 in their division.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a must-win. It really is. I can't. It's strange to me that Russell Wilson put up 0. You know?
Yeah. Well, this is another thing. The Seahawks, I know point differential is like such a lame way to look at anything, but Seahawks are pretty much break even this year, and Cardinals are like 100 points. Like that's a pretty substantial gap between how those teams have played this year. Because it's like you got to break out of that hump of like to me, just over the last 5-10 years, the Seahawks have been better than Arizona pretty much every year.
Yeah, except for 1 year.
Norman really strutting his stuff, getting it done against a running back.
Why does Odell Beckham wear bracelets? It's an NFL game. You wear a watch again? What a goof. Hate that guy. Least favorite guy in the NFL. I don't know him though, so who knows? Oh yeah. This isn't a flag against Bosa, is it?
No, I think it's a hold. So does the clock keep running?
Oh my goodness.
On a play like this? Because like it means something. Like if the clock keeps running.
It's not. Why are they kicking though? Like exactly what the chat's saying.
It's just
You don't care. It's
they're throwing
over.
up the white
It's
flag.
the white
But
flag.
it goes back to like the moniker that I like that you've used with me so many
Do you
times.
want
Like
to win?
it doesn't matter if you win by 1 or 100, like or lose by 1 or lose by 100. Like I'm here
There's no
talking
moral
about point.
victories.
I'm here talking about point differential, and I'm at the same time saying it's meaningless.
It is. It largely is. Because
Well, it should be because like you should be,
you
trying to
should be
fall on
min
the sword.
maxing. You should be min maxing. Like you're trying to win games, not lose nicely.
Yeah.
You know. That's why dogs used to cover a lot more. Now you have to do. You have to have a more of a mixed strategy, like the teams do, for instance.
Do you think there's like if you bring in some of these stars, it like some of the other guys kind of go like, oh, I don't have to do quite as much. Like, do you
I
think
don't
there's
know.
that mental?
I'd have to ask a professional athlete what their thought process is. Maybe it's a lot less complicated than we think it is, right? You know, and the other thing too is they don't think of like going into every week. I don't think they think of probabilities. Like, if you're the Niners, do you think that you have a small chance of winning against? Okay, how about this? If you're the Jags, and you play the Bills, are you like, oh man, we have no chance of winning? Do they think that way? I doubt it. You know, it's us who think of things in terms of probabilities. So, but I'd be curious. I'd be really curious to ask all those questions. The only athlete I deal with played 3 games in the NHL. You know, like it's not really
A
it's
good
not
litmus
really
test.
a lateral, yeah, a lateral move compared to the uh um the tough questions we have. What did they were they going to let San Fran score?
It's just bad body language from the Rams.
It is bad body language from the Rams.
Well, Murray's questionable, but I think he's on. Like I think it's like 40% chance he plays, and I only say that because
You're
they
using the
have a
line as a tool.
yeah, like they. I'm saying that because they have a bye then the week after, so I think it just makes like if I'm in their coaching staff's head, I think they go, let's rest him this week. Next week's a bye. Like the guy gets 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks to get better from whatever's going on
4
with him.
technically, right?
And then Hopkins, I have no clue. I don't know what's going on with Hopkins. Some guy like it's tough too. Like with his injury, like he might not come back the same. Like both those guys, they might not come back the same player that they've been the first half of the season. Like some of these injuries, like guys can come back, but like is Murray still going to be able to pull off like his spin move and be able to run in the backfield 15 yards before some of these explosive plays? Like,
Dude, San Fran, man, take the W. Get the hell out of there. What are you doing?
did they lose that game? Like, was that a meaningful snap that Murray played?
I
Oh,
can't. that throw to AJ Green that got intercepted. He got hurt on that one. Oh, right.
he got hurt before that. He got
Oh,
hurt
yeah.
on that drive, but he finished the drive. Yeah, that AJ Green. I still have no clue what he was doing. Like I don't like I guess he thought the play wasn't designed for him or so. Like there's almost nothing that can make sense.
Yeah.
That was such a key game, like because if Arizona wins that game, they're sitting at 9-1, and the Packers would be 7-3. They'd be 2 games up on pretty much everybody outside of the Cowboys who've had their bye already. Always love a sweat-free winner. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be able to just like enjoy the rest of the game instead of thinking like, oh, okay, how, you know,
How can I get screwed here? Yeah.
yeah. Like if you were on the Rams tonight, you're doing these mental calculations on like, okay, how can they cover, 30 points in the next 17 minutes? Like, but Fat Guy's brought up a good point. Like, it gets to the point where like if you're betting like a lot of us do, there's a pretty good case to be made like not to even watch the games.
It's something I have hinted at suggesting for a lot of people. A lot of times you're better off if you're trying to make a go at this. You know what I mean? Unless you're handicapping and modeling, but if you're betting by the numbers, what difference does it make, right? I do enjoy football though, unlike most sports I bet on. Holy smokes. 93 shot in there.
Copeland ragdolled him. Marquise Copeland. 2019 UDFA from Cincinnati. Or played his college ball at Cincinnati. How ironic would it be if the Rams missed the playoffs after picking up Beckham?
Yeah. We hate him, but like it's not really his fault if that's the case. He stayed in bounds there, right?
He did. I'm pretty sure if San Fran just runs the ball here on 4th down, that the Rams come out and take a knee on the next play.
Or they just let it happen. What? Their last home win was over a year ago?
Yeah. McVay is a fake sharp. McVay did some things that are like interesting. Like I feel like he opened up this offense. Like the offensive philosophy, I think, is good.
What are they doing? What are they doing?
Well, they're kicking field goals down 24, and now they're both teams deciding to run the ball instead of taking knees. But hey, this is the 2021 NFL. Anything could happen.
Nice win.
Congrats. I think everybody cleaned house today. The under hit. San Fran hit. Congrats to everybody. Yeah, Zaps. The other thing too is it was already a 3-possession game. Like it was have a good night, Mud. Because they're down 24. It's like
Here's
Fat Guy said. 3 touchdowns with 2-point conversions is 24 points. And you kick a field goal to make it 21. But you kick a field goal on that play and you're just giving up. But it was also like 4th and forever on the goal line. Either way, another game in the books. This was a very good weekend betting wise.
yeah.
What was the final score? 10-31?
31-10.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen.
That is it for the Fat Guy and I. Thank you for joining us.
We'll catch you on Monday.
Or Thursday, whatever comes first.
Oh, yeah, right. It is Monday. Good one, John, the fat guy.